Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 17th of October. So looking at the euro dollar, and well, firstly what you notice in the shooting star yesterday, it did manage to finally pitch up towards the 34 moving average there, found some resistance, rolled over, and is since rolling over. But is this just going to be another period of chop going on here effectively? As you can already see, this current 4-hourly bar, which will be closing in about 8 minutes, is going to put us a doji in there. It did break the lower trend there, which made me think this morning, well, we could have seen a move down to the weekly pivot, but now it's still between a rock and a hard place. The only thing is they're pretty close to one another now, or even closer. We haven't seen the weekly hit yet. Is that going to happen first? Well, we'll have to wait and see here. If this is going to be a continuation to the downside, the probability is still good for it to be hit. It's already hit into its S1 here, showing signs of weakness, as I say, following through the Asian session there. Anything really, any sort of certain solid move upwards may see us running back towards the daily pivot. If we get much further than that, we'll see. Days that sort of run from top to bottom here, well, they're pretty rare, but it's possible as it's in such a tight old range. At the moment it's erring on the more bearish side there for me. The pound, that said, I will keep an open mind come post 8 o'clock and see which way it's going to sort of show us. Now the pound held on to its gains yesterday, not as too solidly, but still it's put a bit of a shooting star type candle in there. They're all the same. It's using the weekly pivot really as a support area mainly at the moment, and well, certainly did yesterday. Chopped for a long period, finally fired out there, pulling back towards that at the moment. It's pretty much all over its daily pivot already as well, has done that. So looking at the price action, well, it's just a difficult one to read in real terms of what it's doing. Yes, yesterday continued, broke through the 50 there, ran up not in the end and pushed on through. It's not clear, that's for sure, and with Brexit comments coming out, it's probably not going to be any clearer. I would expect some volatility later this evening if you're trading it or in positions, as the ECB members speak, European members speak even, and Brexit's high on the agenda. So we'll see what happens, but at the moment it's not looking pretty, and I've been keeping out of it, even though yesterday it managed to stay in that nice positive trend. You keep out of it because of the high risk, but there we are. It's some days it will see you okay. Dollar yen, well, we saw the softening of the yen against the dollar there yesterday, with the dollar pushing up. Good strong day upwards. The weekly pivot's still above as a target, so if it does manage to break through this 4-hourly 200, it's got a target further up, which if it did get up to that area, would be looking at the reaction and maybe even a short position back down. But for now it's holding in there, and maybe, well, once it's hit its daily pivot, which is not far below here, if it catches that, that may just give it a sort of a kick. If it's sort of over the last 2 days, well, it put higher lows in, it's sort of edging upwards. It could continue in that way. It was a game of two halves yesterday. It did look like it was going to roll over at one stage a bit further, but later on pitched up, so we'll see how it runs. But so as I say, still got the weekly pivot to touch a bit above. Aussie dollar, okay, so the Aussie dollar on the dailies here stalled around that daily 21 yesterday. Not managed to break yet, but if it starts pitching up again, there's the potential for it to do so. The more it knocks on the door, the more likely it's going to get in and go through. Still looking here on this 4-hourly time frame with the higher lows, higher highs coming through, looking like it's still got some legs. And as I said, if it keeps on knocking at that door, maybe we'll see the R1 hit today. If it fails and starts breaking down, obviously S1's the next the obvious target, and with those bodies etc. sitting around about 71.20ish. Okay, and finally the Canadian dollar. So yesterday, another solid day to the downside here. It's the Canadian dollar strength against the US dollar. It's still got the 200 below as a potential target at the moment. Here it's just putting a bear wedge in, a bear flag in, just see how it reacts to this at 4 hourly 8. If it starts breaking through, well, there's chances of continuation in the direction it's in. It's, as I say, lower highs, lower lows, just sitting above its daily pivot at the moment, so just needs some patience to see what direction it goes into. If it starts breaking above the 34, well, it's got targets above really the R1, but may have a bit of traffic in the way in terms of that 60-minute 50. So that's it. News-wise today, well, inflation data, CPI out this morning for the UK at 9:30. The EU, as I said, the EU meeting, economic summit start is day one, so I would expect comments coming from that potentially throughout the day, and the speakers speaking to the press, etc. Later in the day, well, really this is some manufacturing sales, etc., how building permits, the US, low key data. Oil inventories may give us a kicker at 3:30. They've had a lot lesser effect of late, but we'll see what happens there. FOMC speak at 5:10, due to deliver a fintech and financial conclusion speech. Well, we may see. I don't think we'll see too much volatility around that, but there is an FOMC minutes coming out. The key thing probably for today at 7 PM to be read and watched. I say read and watched, read carefully. So that's about it really. So have a great day. Bye for now.